After taking the core of the demon-slaying tower into his hand, our hero looked at it and said in an exceptionally calm voice, "Don't be afraid, I won't hurt you. I only want to carve my soul mark onto you." Then he stepped forward, closed his eyes, and began imprinting his soul mark inside the demon-slaying tower. The core immediately transformed into a tiny stream of light and entered his spiritual world. As soon as it entered, it moved deeper inside and successfully completed the imprint. Watching this scene from below, Meng and Yihao were both stunned. In disbelief, they muttered at the same time, "That kid actually succeeded." As soon as our hero succeeded, he opened his eyes and stretched out his hand, summoning the demon-slaying tower into his palm. At that moment, Yihao and Meng quickly approached him and exclaimed together, "Kid Lin, you really managed to successfully subdue the demon-slaying tower." Yihao looked at our hero and said with admiration, "The younger generation is truly amazing. I've worked for so many years and still couldn't accomplish this. Yet this kid did it so effortlessly. He truly has the qualifications to become the master of the demon-slaying tower." After hearing those words, our hero remained silent. The demon-slaying tower was already floating in one hand, while he summoned the thunder tower, Garita, into the other. Both towers hovered above his palms, continuously releasing powerful lightning. The moment Garita and the demon-slaying tower came into contact, they began producing an intense reaction. At the same time, the two towers started attracting one another. Seeing this unexpected phenomenon, our hero was slightly surprised and muttered, "There seems to be some kind of subtle connection between these two towers. Is it because the demon-slaying tower was created based on Garita?" At that moment, the demon-slaying tower began absorbing Garita's thunder power. Seeing this, our hero was greatly astonished and said, "The demon-slaying tower is absorbing Garita's lightning element. It seems to be evolving on its own. Once I plant the King Kunlun snowgrass inside its internal space and nourish it with lightning elements, I'll be able to continuously harvest snowgrass without end." Just then, Yihao walked behind our hero, patted him on the shoulder, and asked with a smile, "Kid, how does it feel to control the demon-slaying tower?" Our hero smiled and casually replied, "It's not too bad." Hearing that answer, Yihao immediately showed a slightly dissatisfied expression and said, "The demon-slaying tower is one of the 3 great towers of the Shengxia Empire, and all you can say is not too bad?" Meng, who was standing nearby, laughed and said, "Of course. Kid Lin once controlled Garita and even personally slew a demon king." The moment Yihao heard that, his eyes widened in shock as he exclaimed, "You controlled Garita and even killed a demon king? No wonder you didn't look particularly excited even after becoming the master of the demon-slaying tower." After that, Meng bid farewell and said, "Senior Yihao, we'll be taking our leave now. Hopefully, the next time we meet, Elder Yi will already have grasped the law." Our hero also respectfully lowered his head in farewell before preparing to leave with Meng. The two of them soon departed from the area. While traveling, Meng looked at our hero and said, "All right, Kid Lin. I know that after hearing about that great battle, you've developed a sense of urgency and want to increase your strength as quickly as possible. But reviving the human race isn't your responsibility alone. We old fellows aren't dead yet." Hearing those words, our hero respectfully replied, "Teacher's lesson is well received." Immediately afterward, the two of them teleported directly to Bai's courtyard. However, the moment Meng brought our hero there, he suddenly received an emergency message. As soon as he heard it, his expression changed drastically, and he hurriedly said, "What? I'll head over immediately." Right after that, he directly activated the Shengxia Tower and teleported away, leaving our hero behind. Seeing his teacher leave in such a hurry, our hero immediately took out Antair's scale. As he teleported away as well, he quietly said, "It seems teacher has something urgent to deal with. In that case, I'll go find Antair's and ask about the matter of laws." As soon as our hero teleported to Antair's territory, Antair's looked at him and scraped his claws across the ground before saying in an annoyed tone, "You brat, do you really think you can come and go from my territory whenever you want?" Hearing that, our hero got straight to the point and said, "Antair's, I have a question." Then he immediately asked, "Antair's, when I stored the King Kunlun's snowgrass gifted to me by the great god Kunlun into my spiritual world, I seemed to enter a special state. My soul seemed to improve somewhat, and I even touched a trace of a law. Do you know what happened? As soon as Antares heard the question, he replied, that state is called enlightenment. While in a state of enlightenment, your soul temporarily rises to a higher level. Do you think laws can only be mastered after reaching level 96? Wrong. Completely wrong. As long as your soul reaches the level of a level 96 soul, you'll be able to come into contact with laws. The moment our hero heard that explanation, he was greatly shocked. Thinking it over, he whispered, so that's how it is. In other words, with my current soul strength, I also have a chance to comprehend laws, but the difficulty is extremely high. At that moment, Antares raised one of his claws and pointed a sharp nail toward our hero. Activating the power of laws, he said, in theory, that's correct. However, using laws requires soul power as support. If your soul isn't strong enough and you forcefully use a law, then at best you'll suffer severe injuries, and at worst your soul will be completely annihilated. That's also the reason why the human race established level 96 as the minimum threshold. After saying that, Antares continued explaining, of course, if you're only using a law occasionally, then reaching level 96 isn't absolutely necessary. Our dragon race possesses many methods that allow us to use laws as early as level 90. Hearing this, our hero immediately replied, those are methods used by the dragon race. I'm human, so I can't use them. As soon as Antares heard that, he snorted and said, there are actually a few methods that humans can use as well. For example, the soul-splitting method. The moment our hero heard those words, he quickly asked, soul-splitting method? What's that? Antares then began explaining the technique. The soul-splitting method involves separating a small portion of your soul in advance. When you use a law, this separated soul fragment bears the backlash in place of your main soul. Once that fragment is destroyed, it only causes minor damage to the main soul. As long as you don't create too many such soul fragments, the effect on your true soul won't be significant. However, the moment Antares realized he probably shouldn't have revealed this method, he immediately stopped talking. Looking annoyed, he glared at our hero and said, good, you brat tricked me into revealing it again. Our hero simply smiled slightly and, with an innocent expression, replied, we're friends, aren't we? The moment Antares heard the word friends, his expression softened slightly. Raising a claw, he gently touched a nail against our hero's forehead and said, release your defenses and let me enter your spiritual world. Afterward, Antares entered his spiritual world and began looking around. Seeing everything inside, he couldn't help but exclaim, good grief, you brat actually have this many things inside your spiritual world. At the same time, he thought to himself, this kid is hiding so many secrets, yet he's still willing to let me enter his spiritual world. It seems he truly trusts me. Then Antares activated the method and imprinted it inside our hero's spiritual world. While doing so, he said, this is the soul-splitting method. When you have time, enter your spiritual world and study it carefully. Once you've mastered it, you'll be able to use laws the way I described. As soon as the method was imprinted into his soul, Antares withdrew from our hero's spiritual world. After coming out, he didn't say much. He merely let out a slightly heavy breath, still looking somewhat annoyed. Seeing this, our hero looked at him gratefully and said, thank you, Antares. Meanwhile, outside Fortress 9, an abyss entrance had already opened on the meta battlefield. Massive amounts of dark energy were continuously pouring out from the entrance, covering the surrounding area with an oppressive aura. At the same time, countless abyss monsters rushed out and began surrounding the fortress while launching a relentless assault. Just then, Meng suddenly teleported onto the battlefield. The moment he arrived, he immediately activated the Shengxia Tower. A terrifying wave of power swept across the battlefield, instantly wiping out the monsters attacking the fortress in a single strike. At that moment, Feng Xiu hurried over and respectfully greeted him, saying, Junior Feng Xiu greets Lord Meng. Hearing this, Meng quickly got straight to the point and asked, tell me what's happening here. Feng Xiu immediately began explaining everything that had occurred over the past few days. 2 days ago, a massive palace suddenly appeared here. It was as white as jade and completely filled with light element energy. However, the Demon Emperor later made his move and dragged the palace into the Abyss world. We suspect that this palace may be connected to the God of Light. The moment Meng heard that, his expression immediately changed. Without wasting any time, he asked, "Where are the white god and the mad god?" Feng Ziu's expression instantly became nervous as he answered, "They, the two of them, entered the abyss vortex."